Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is the show where we take your sources, we peel back the layers, and really try to unearth those key nuggets of knowledge so you can get well informed fast.
That's cool.
And today we're diving into, well, it's a story of ancient history, but also very modern geopolitics
Mm.
and a really long-running dispute over just one single magnificent temple.
Yeah, and it's not just some dusty historical thing, is it? This is a living, breathing conflict.
Right.
It keeps challenging international law, regional stability. We're talking about the Preah Vihear temple.
Okay.
Huge cultural significance, but sadly, yeah, a real flashpoint between Cambodia and Thailand.
So our mission today, for you listening, is to unpack all of this, the complex legal fights, the surprising political move.
And the human cost, definitely.
Absolutely. We want to explore why this 11th century temple is still right at the center of a tense border situation, even today, July 24th, 2025.
How current.
Very current. So we'll trace the key events, from old colonial treaties right up to the latest diplomatic back and forth.
And hopefully give you those aha moments.
Right.
A clear sense of what's really going on.
Exactly. Understanding what's truly at stake.
Okay, so where do we start? Maybe with the temple itself. Preah Vihear.
Yeah, paint us a picture.
Right. So its construction starts way back, early 9th century. But most of what you see today, the surviving parts, they're from the 11th and 12th centuries.
The Khmer Empire's golden age.
Exactly. Dedicated to the Hindu god Shiva. And the location is just, wow, it's perched right on the edge of this huge cliff.
In the Dangrik Mountains.
That's it. About 625 meters up. It stretches out maybe 800 meters long, north-south. Just a breathtaking place built by the Khmer people.
Direct ancestors of modern Cambodians.
Correct.
That really is a powerful image. But like we said, how does something so old, so beautiful, become this persistent source of modern conflict?
Well, history isn't neat, is it?
Yeah.
Control shifted. The Khmer Empire weakened over time.
And Siam, now Thailand, grew stronger.
Precisely. For instance, back in 1431, Siamese forces actually sacked Angkor Thom, the Khmer capital.
Wow.
Yeah. And Siam gradually took bites out of Cambodian territory. By, 1794, the Khmer king ceded control over northwestern provinces,
Including the area around Preah Vihear.
including that area. Then, fast forward to 1904, France is now Cambodia's protectorate.
Right.
They sign a treaty with Siam, and this treaty is crucial. It said the boundary should follow the watershed line in the eastern Dangrik Mountains.
Okay, the watershed, meaning the highest ridge, where water flows down either side.
That's the principle. And here's the kicker. If they'd stuck strictly to that principle,
The temple would mostly be on the Thai side?
it would have been yes. Most of it on Siamese soil. But the treaty wasn't the final word on the exact line.
Ah, okay.
It set up a mixed commission, French and Siamese, to figure out the precise demarcation.
And did they?
Well, by 1907, French officials finished a survey. They produced a map. This map becomes really important later. It's called Annex 1 in court.
In this map?
It showed the border deviating from the watershed line. It put all of Preah Vihear squarely inside Cambodian territory.
Okay. Did the Siamese commissioners agree to that map?
Ah, see, that's the critical point. They didn't explicitly approve it, but, and this is huge, they also didn't do their own survey to challenge it.
They didn't raise a formal objection.
Not clearly, not at the time.
Yeah.
And this silence, this lack of action, it becomes absolutely pivotal later on.
How so? What does that mean in, legal terms?
It demonstrates a key concept in international law. Sometimes doing nothing, your inaction, can be just as binding as taking action.
So by not objecting for decades.
It could be seen legally as acceptance. It kind of stops you from challenging it later. That silence matters.
Okay, so this map exists showing the temple in Cambodia, but Thailand, or Siam back then, isn't happy, presumably.
The seeds of dispute are definitely sown, and then things escalate, moving from maps to, well, military action and courtrooms.
Right, this is where it shifts to the International Court of Justice, the ICJ. How did that happen?
Well, jump forward a bit. 1941, World War II is raging. Thailand allies with Japan.
And they seize Preah Vihear.
They do. He gets returned to France after the war, but then France withdraws from Cambodia in 53.
And Thai troops move back in.
Back in, again, 1954. Cambodia, now independent, protests this strongly.
Understandably.
And finally, in 1959, they take the case to the ICJ in The Hague. Things got tense. Diplomatic ties cut. War felt like a real possibility.
So what was Thailand's main argument in court? Just that the map was wrong.
Pretty much, yeah. Their core argument was, That 1907 map, the Annex 1 map, it's inaccurate. It doesn't follow the watershed principle from the 1904 treaty.
And they probably pointed out they controlled it, right? Easier access from their side.
They did mention the de facto control, the easier access, absolutely.
So how did the ICJ rule? This is the big 1962 judgment.
Landmark decision, June 15th, 1962. The court ruled, 9 votes to 3, that the temple was situated in territory under Cambodian sovereignty.
9-3. Pretty decisive. On what grounds? Was it the map?
It came down to that legal concept we touched on, estoppel.
Ah, the idea of being stopped from arguing something because of your past actions or inaction.
Exactly. The court basically said Thailand's failure to object to the map back in 1907, or for nearly 50 years after.
That amounted to acceptance. Tacit agreement.
Precisely. A tacit acceptance of the border shown on the map. You can't just U-turn decades later, legally speaking.
Wow. So the court told Thailand to withdraw.
Yes, by 7 votes to 5, they ordered Thailand to pull out its military and police forces, and also to return any artifacts they might have removed.
So Cambodia wins in court. Temple belongs to Cambodia. End of story.
Oh, if only it were that simple. You'd think so, right? But no.
Why not? The highest international court ruled.
Because the ruling was very, very technical. It focused narrowly on legal stuff like estoppel and acquiescence, that silent acceptance idea.
Okay.
It was clever in a way, maybe avoid a huge, immediate diplomatic bust-up, but it deliberately didn't touch the really sensitive stuff.
Like cultural ownership, who it really belongs to historically.
Exactly. Those deeply felt historical arguments, the nationalistic passions who inherited the temple. The court sidestepped all that.
So it left the underlying resentment just simmering.
Pretty much. It resolved the legal point on the map, but not the bigger emotional historical debate. There was a flicker of hope, though.
Oh, yeah.
In 1963, Cambodia's Prince Sihanouk made a gesture. He allowed Thais visa-free access, let Thailand keep some minor relics found there.
A reconciliation attempt.
Seems like it. But sadly, it got overshadowed by other events, kind of forgotten over time.
So the key takeaway for you listening, as you said, is that a legal win isn't always the end. It can just change the argument.
Absolutely. It often just pushes the conflict into a different arena.
And for years after that 1963 handover, the temple was hard to get to anyway, right? Conflict, landmines.
Yeah, it was pretty much off limits for a long time.
Yeah.
Only really became accessible again in the late 1990s. Both sides actually started making it easier for tourists.
But then, boom, 2008, the fuse gets lit all over again. What happened?
UNESCO. That was the trigger. Cambodia applied in 2008 to get Preah Vihear listed as a World Heritage Site.
And Thailand objected.
Objected furiously. They weren't necessarily objecting to the temple itself being listed, but claimed Cambodia's application included land around the temple.
Land that Thailand claimed was theirs.
Exactly. The land adjacent to the temple, about 4.6 square kilometers, became the new focus of the dispute.
And this blew up politically inside Thailand.
Oh, massively. It got tangled up immediately in their intense domestic politics. You had the yellow shirts, the PA.
Right, the People's Alliance for Democracy versus the red shirts who supported Thaksin Shinawatra.
Exactly. And the PA used this dispute as a weapon. They accused the government at the time, under Prime Minister Samak, of basically selling out Thai sovereignty, Thai dignity.
I remember the foreign minister got into trouble.
He did. Napadon Pakama. He signed a joint communique supporting Cambodia's revised UNESCO application. The backlash was immediate and fierce. Accusations of treason.
Treason, wow.
Yeah, under Thai law, specifically Article 190 of the Constitution, which requires parliamentary approval for international agreements impacting sovereignty.
So signing that communique without parliaments, okay.
Landed him in hot water. He eventually had to resign. And there's also Article 157, this sort of catch-all for official misconduct or harming national interest.
Often used for treason claims.
It can be, yeah. So officials became incredibly wary of making any concessions, fearing prosecution. It created this diplomatic paralysis.
And on the Cambodian side, did they use this politically too?
Oh, absolutely. Prime Minister Hun Sen is a very shrewd politician. He definitely used it to rally nationalist sentiment in Cambodia.
Playing on old grievances.
For sure, like that infamous incident in 2003. Remember when a Thai actress supposedly said Angkor Wat belongs to Thailand?
Oh, yeah, that caused riots in Phnom Penh, didn't it? Burning the Thai embassy.
Exactly. Huge outrage. So those kinds of historical sensitivities were very easy to stir up again over Preah Vihear.
So UNESCO lists the temple anyway in July 2008.
They did, July 8th. Big celebrations in Cambodia.
And then?
Within a week, Thai and Cambodian soldiers were deploying in those disputed areas right next to the temple, hundreds of them.
Tensions sky high.
Absolutely. Hun Sen demanded Thai troops withdraw. Thailand's PM Samak accused Cambodia of infringing on Thai territory.
Did fighting break out immediately?
Not immediately, but clashes started by October 2008, rifle fire, rockets. Then it escalated further in April 2009.
What happened then?
Proper exchanges of artillery, mortars, grenades. People were killed and wounded on both sides, soldiers and civilians.
And people living nearby must have been terrified, displaced.
Thousands were displaced. Yet we talk about the politics and the law, but you have to remember the real human impact. Lives disrupted, fear, landmines.
Right, and it wasn't just at Preah Vihear itself. The conflict spread.
It did. Other smaller ancient temple sites along the border, like Tamon and Takaprabai, also saw clashes and occupations by troops from both sides.
And negotiations during this time, were they getting anywhere?
Frustratingly slow. Bilateral talks kept happening, but they get bogged down on, honestly, seemingly minor things, like arguing over the official name of the temple in meeting documents, or even just approving the minutes of the previous meeting.
Seriously.
Yeah. And adding to the problem was the constant chopping and changing of officials on the Thai side because their government was so unstable politically. Hard to build any momentum.
It sounds incredibly messy. Now, what about ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations? Where were they in all this? 2 members fighting.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Initially, ASEAN was pretty passive.
Why? Isn't promoting regional peace their whole deal?
Well, yes, but they have this long-standing principle, the ASEAN way, which includes strict non-interference in members' internal affairs.
Ah, the non-interference doctrine.
Exactly. So when Cambodia first went to the UN Security Council back in 2008, ASEAN actually stepped in and basically told the UN, hands off, let us handle this bilaterally.
They urged Cambodia not to internationalize it.
Pretty much. Keep it within the ASEAN family. But then, early 2011 happened.
Things got much worse.
Much worse. An unprecedented level of violence, as officials called it. Heavy artillery exchanges in February 2011.
Causing damage to the actual temple.
Yes, there was damage reported to Preah Vihear itself, which caused international alarm. And again, thousands displaced. Cambodia went back to the UN Security Council.
And this time, ASEAN couldn't just push it back.
Well, and Thailand was facing accusations then, too, about using cluster munitions near the border.
Cluster bombs. Nasty stuff.
Very nasty. They leave behind unexploded bomblets, dangerous for civilians long after. Thailand denied using them specifically, said they used something called dual-purpose improved conventional munitions, which they argued were different, more targeted.
Okay, so the UN Security Council, what did they do in 2011?
They did something really quite remarkable, unprecedented actually. Instead of taking it on themselves, they referred the dispute back to ASEAN.
Back to ASEAN. But ASEAN had been reluctant.
Exactly. But this time the UN specifically tasked Indonesia, which held the ASEAN chair at the time, to lead the mediation efforts.
So putting the responsibility squarely on the regional body.
Yes, a really significant moment, setting a precedent for regional organizations to manage their own conflicts.
Did Indonesia manage to make progress?
They jumped right in, very active mediation, and they actually got an agreement in February 2011 to deploy Indonesian observers to the border.
Observers on the ground. That sounds promising. Did it happen?
No, not smoothly. There was immediate and significant resistance from the Thai side.
Again, why resist observers from Indonesia, a fellow ASEAN member, especially after agreeing?
It seems to have come largely from the Thai military establishment. Deep-seated concerns about sovereignty, about allowing foreign personnel near that sensitive border.
Plus the ongoing domestic political pressure from nationalist groups.
That too. Those groups were loudly opposing any perceived international interference. They saw it purely as a Thai border issue.
So the observers were stalled, fighting continued. What did Cambodia do?
With the observer deployment blocked and fighting flaring up again, Cambodia went back to the ICJ in April 2011.
Not for a new case, but related to the 1962 one.
Exactly. They filed a request for interpretation of the 1962 judgment, asking the court to clarify what that ruling meant for the land around the temple.
And did the ICJ respond quickly?
Relatively quickly, yes.
Yeah.
In July 2011, the court issued an order for provisional measures. Temporary orders, basically, while they considered the interpretation request.
Okay, what did these provisional measures say?
Several key things. One, both sides had to immediately withdraw all military personnel from a specific area around the temple.
A demilitarized zone.
A provisional demilitarized zone, or PDZ, yes. A temporary no man's land. Second, Thailand couldn't obstruct Cambodia's free access to the
And
temple.
crucially, what about the observers?
Crucially, the ICJ ordered both countries to keep cooperating with ASEAN and to allow those stalled Indonesian observers into the PDZ.
So the ICJ itself mandated the observers, putting international legal weight behind it.
Absolutely. But it's worth noting this ICJ order was only about the area right around Preah Vihear Temple.
Not those other disputed temple sites like Tamon or Takra Bay, where fighting also happened.
Correct. Those weren't covered by this specific order, so it's a partial measure focused just on the main flashpoint.
Okay, so we have an ICJ order for demilitarization and observers. Did that finally calm things down? There was a Thai election around then too, right?
Yes, the July 2011 Thai election brought Yingluck Shinawatra to power, Thaksin's sister.
And she had a different approach, more conciliatory.
Initially, yes. She famously pledged to turn the border battlefield into a marketplace. The rhetoric definitely softened for a while.
But did the troops withdraw? Did the observers deploy?
Well, the reality proved much stickier. Those deep institutional concerns within the Thai military about sovereignty, about complying with ICJ rulings, they didn't just disappear.
And the political turmoil in Thailand wasn't over either?
Far from it. Plus, Thailand suffered massive floods later in 2011, which understandably delayed talks further.
Yeah.
And those anti-Thaksin nationalist groups, they were still very active.
Still raising the specter of Article 157, treason, against anyone seen as compromising.
Exactly. That fear continued to hang over officials. So, despite the ICJ order, no formal ceasefire was ever signed. Troop withdrawals from the PDZ remained incomplete, stalled.
And the Indonesian observers.
Never fully deployed as envisioned by the ICJ order or the earlier ASEAN agreement.
So even an ICJ order wasn't enough to overcome the internal Thai dynamics.
It seems that way. And by the end of 2011, when the ASEAN chairmanship changed, the summit kind of downplayed the conflict.
A silence at the top, as some called it?
Yeah, almost an unofficial agreement to lower the temperature rhetorically, but without actually resolving the core issues on the ground. The troops largely stayed put.
Right. So that brings us closer to the present. Fast forward to today, July 24th, 2025. And suddenly it's back in the headlines. Big time.
Yes, unfortunately. A very recent, very sharp escalation.
What happened this time?
It seems to have started with landmine incidents near the border that injured some Thai soldiers. Thailand reacted very strongly. They recalled their ambassador from Phnom Penh, and then they actually expelled Cambodia's ambassador from Bangkok.
Expelled the ambassador? That's serious.
Very serious diplomatic move. Cambodia retaliated immediately, reducing its diplomatic ties to the absolute lowest level, recalling its own remaining staff.
Wow. Have ties been completely severed?
Not completely. Interestingly, the Thai Ministry of Foreign Affairs issued a statement today, clarifying that they can't fully sever ties.
Why not?
They said maintaining some diplomatic channels is essential for trying to de-escalate and also for looking after Thai citizens still in Cambodia.
Pragmatism amid the anger. But has there been more violence?
Yes. There have been reports, quite credible, of recent Thai airstrikes targeting Cambodian military positions near the border.
Airstrikes.
Airstrikes. And Cambodian forces have apparently returned fire. Both sides are blaming the other for starting the violence. It's a dangerous situation.
Is anyone trying to mediate this time? ASEAN, Indonesia again?
So far, it seems no concrete mediation offers have emerged. The Thai foreign minister is reported to be actively trying to bring the issue before the United Nations now.
Going back to the UM.
Yes, apparently talking to the Security Council chair, representatives from key countries like Japan, Russia, trying to get international attention focused on it.
And that ICJ case, the request for interpretation from 2011, is that still going on?
It is still pending, believe it or not. These things take time. A final judgment clarifying the 1962 ruling and its implications for that disputed 4.6 square kilometers around the temple. That could still be years away.
Years. So that core point of contention remains legally unresolved and militarily very tense.
Exactly. The dispute over the land immediately surrounding the temple is still the heart of the matter.
So we've covered a lot of ground here, a really deep dive into this incredibly complex, long-running, and often quite heated dispute over Preah Vihear. It's a story that really weaves together, ancient history, the legacy of colonialism, very raw domestic politics.
And the real challenges of making international law work and getting regional cooperation, like with ASEAN, to actually function effectively on the ground.
Absolutely.
And for you, listening, this really isn't just some obscure border dispute far away. It's a powerful example, isn't it?
How so?
Well, it shows how historical memory, how the past can be dug up and, frankly, weaponized for political gain today.
Right.
It shows how even clear international legal rulings get tested, sometimes ignored or resisted on the ground.
Yeah.
And it highlights the huge challenge of keeping the peace, even within regional blocs when national feelings run so high.
Yeah.
Especially in our current world, flooded with information and sometimes misinformation.
That's a really crucial point. So the big question we're left with, I suppose, is can this shared cultural heritage, this magnificent temple, can it ever become a bridge between Cambodia and Thailand instead of a battleground?
That's the hope, isn't it?
And what does this whole long saga really tell us about the future? About how conflicts like this might be resolved or not resolved within groups like ASEAN? Especially when national pride and interests seem to clash so directly with the idea of collective peace.
A tough question.
Yeah, definitely something for you to think about long after this deep dive ends.